आज का जो हमारा टॉपिक है वो है फर्टिलाइजेशन। आपको पता है जो प्रोसेस ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन है, इसका जो पहला स्टेप होता है, द फर्स्ट स्टेप इन द प्रोसेस ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन, दैट इज कॉल्ड फर्टिलाइजेशन। During fertilization, there occurs fusion of male and female gametes. Male gamete, what we call as a sperm, and female gamete, what we call as ovum. So there occurs fusion of male and female gamete. So this is the first step in the process of reproduction. In the process of sexual reproduction, there occurs fusion of male and female gamete. So when there occurs fusion of male and female gamete, it results in the formation of a single body that we call as zygote. During fertilization, male gamete and female gamete, they fuse, they got together and form zygote. This male gamete what we called as a sperm, and the female gamete, or what we called as ovum, they got fused and they form another body that is called zygote. During fertilization, the nucleus of male gamete and the nuclei of the female gamete, they fuse together and they form a single nucleus, and this whole body is called zygote. So the fertilization, it is the first step in the process of sexual reproduction. एक बार फिर से मैं आपको समझाता हूँ, जो फर्टिलाइजेशन है, जो हमारा सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में उसका जो पहला स्टेप है, उसको बोलते हैं फर्टिलाइजेशन। तो फर्टिलाइजेशन में क्या होता है कि जो मेल गैमीट होता है उसका जो न्यूक्लियस होता है और जो फीमेल गैमीट है उसका जो न्यूक्लियस है, दोनों फ्यूज हो जाते हैं और एक ही बॉडी बन जाती है। उस बॉडी को बोलते हैं हम जाइगोट। लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म में दो टाइप्स हैं इस फर्टिलाइजेशन की। देयर आर टू टाइप्स ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन। वन इज एक्सटर्नल फर्टिलाइजेशन, external fertilization, this fertilization occurs outside the female body. Whenever any fertilization which occurs outside the female body, that is called external fertilization. This type of fertilization occurs in mostly in the aquatic organisms. Aquatic organisms, fishes, or we have this frog. So when fertilization occurs outside the female body, this is called external fertilization. Now, next is internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. Fertilization which occurs inside the female body. Fertilization which occurs inside female body, that's called internal fertilization. This aquatic fertilization occurs in most organisms, such as we have human beings, cow, dogs, etc. Fertilization which occurs inside the female body, this occurs outside female body, and internal fertilization occurs inside female body, mostly in the uterus. So the process of fertilization, it results in the formation of zygote. Then this zygote, it develops into an embryo. This zygote, it divides repeatedly. Zygote undergoes repeated divisions, it divides repeatedly, form a mass of cells. Those mass of cells, they form group of tissues and different organs of the body. This zygote, it undergoes, it develops into embryo. It divides repeatedly, undergoes repeated divisions, forming a mass of cells. Those mass of cells, then this group of cells, they form a group of tissues and different organs of the body. And when it forms different tissues and organs of the body, that's the body is called embryo. It undergoes, it divides, or it develops into embryo. After fertilization, the zygote develops into embryo. This embryo, it got embedded into the wall of the uterus. It got embedded into the uterus, and there occurs the further divisions occurs in the uterus. Then a stage comes after this embryo, it develops into fetus. Fetus is a stage when different organs get distinguished. When the different organs, this embryo, then it forms, first it forms tissues and organs, then becomes embryo. After then the embryo develops into fetus. It is a stage in the embryo when all the body parts are identified. Here, all body parts are identified. When all body parts gets identified, that stage is called, it's a fetus stage. After fetus stage, the further development, this fetus further develops into a full-fledged child. So the fertilization process, it results in the formation of zygote. Zygote then divides repeatedly, undergoes repeated multiplications, repeated divisions, and forms mass of cells or the tissue and the different organs. That is called the embryo. Embryo further develops into fetus. Fetus is a stage when the different body parts get identified. And after fetus, it further develops into the child. These all divisions, divisions, it takes place within this after uterus. Then uterus, embryo, it got embedded into the uterus. Further division into fetus and child, it all takes place inside the female reproductive system, that is or in the uterus. And this is all about fertilization. Thanks.